Yes,
Good day then. We're live.
good night to the Belizean people at home and abroad. Welcome to this 105th episode of Belizean Affairs. Sitting with me virtually is my good cousin, Mr. Leonard Brackett, also followed by Mr. Roody. My name is Mr. Gregory Brackett, and I am the chairman for tonight. With that said, we will go to Mr. Brackett for a prayer, followed by Mr. Wade with a reading. Over to you, Mr. Brackett.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. My name is Leonard Brackett. I'm one of the panelists for tonight's show. I'll be doing a short prayer if you allow me to bow my head for a few seconds. Divine loving Father, once again we come before thy presence, asking that thou mayest hear our supplications and our prayers on behalf of our family members, friends, and loved ones, and also on behalf of our country of Belize, its people, and its leadership, as well as this country of the United States, its people, and its leadership, and the rest of humanity. We pray thee, loving Father, that thou would have mercy upon those people who are in harm's way, who are being hurt for no justifiable reason, from wars and rumors of wars, earthquake, pestilence, hurricanes, and all manner of natural and man-made disasters as well. We pray that thou mayest grant us health, courage, strength, perseverance, and protection, that thou mayest help us that we present a program tonight that may accrue to the well-being and benefit of our people and country and patrimony. Please continue to guide and protect us, for we ask these mercies in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen.
Amen. Back to you, Mr. Chairman. Are you
Yes, to you, Mr. Wade, for the reading.
Thank you, Greg. I will go to the reading, Greg, from James, uh, chapter 3, 1 to 10. Not many of you should become teachers, my brothers, for you know what you for you know what we who teach will be judged with greater strictness.
mm-hmm.
For we also stumble in many ways.
Mm-hmm.
And if anyone does not stumble in what he says, he is a perfect man, able also
So,
to bridle his whole body. If we put bits into the mouths of horses so that they obey us, we, we guide their whole bodies as well. Look at the sheep also, though they are so large and are driven by strong winds. They are guided by a very small rudder wherever the will of the pilot directs. So also the tongue is a small member, yet it boasts a great thing. Boasts of great things. How great a forest is set ablaze, how great a great how great a forest is set ablaze by such a small fire. And the tongue is a fire, a world of unrighteousness. The tongue is set among other members, staining the whole body, setting on fire the entire course of life, and set on fire by hell. For every kind of beast and bird, of reptile and sea creatures can be tamed and has been tamed by mankind. But no human being can tame the tongue. It is a restless, it is a restless evil full of deadly poison. With it we bless our Lord and Father, and with it we curse people who are made in the likeness of God. That's my reading from James 1 to 10.
I thank you, Mr. Wade. I also thank you, Mr. Brackett, for your prayer. With
You're
that
welcome,
said,
sir.
we go to our first music.
Make I tell about a old story. How me ancestors them get glory. After war and fight for this land today, I feel proud to be Belizean. And every time I walk through the streets, I feel so blessed, so good and so free. And every time my foot touch the beach, I feel so at peace, thanking God for my country. And I don't know how it make you feel when the breeze such a fracas just start to chew up, but I'm kinda living in a fantasy.
Good night to the people at home and abroad, and welcome back to this 105th edition of Belizean Affairs. To start our program, gentlemen, I want to go first to something very important. Is the government of Belize, including the Prime Minister, discriminative when it comes to certain individuals? And to clarify that, I will go to this first page and I will show you where we will end up.
Jamie Usher has served as the principal of Belize High School for nearly 14 years, since the school's inception in 2010. Since then, Jamie has gained international acclaim for championing Belize's progress in science, technology, engineering, art, and mathematics, STEAM.
We are motivated by the fact that we are part of the evolution of technology and science in Belize. So first, we used to teach IT as a subject. Then we started using IT by bringing in projectors. And then we started using technology with our class. So we would have Google Classroom, Google Drive, different elements. But now, behind me, you've just witnessed where our students are taking technology and engineering and creating, which is really a fantastic transformation when you think about we're no longer teaching what is a mouse, what is a CPU, what is a keyboard. We're actually telling them use everything that has been built up since elementary school and create something that can solve a problem.
The departure came as a shock to many, as Usher.
Now, gentlemen, the question is, the present government discriminative when it comes to certain employees and certain people? Now, to follow up on what I just said, I want you to hear this.
I don't think there's any issue with DNTU and the ministry. What is going on is that it's the Ministry of Education that makes the assessment. They go out and look at the assessment. The different management, school management would come to Ministry of Education and say, these are my buildings that got affected. And the Ministry of Education will go and take another look. The Minister Fonseca, explained to us in cabinet that his priority is the priority that our government agrees that we need to get our children back to school immediately. I know some teachers were talking about wanting another week off, and we said, absolutely not. You have to go back to the school. We need to get our children back to school. That's why we said we're going to open schools on Monday. But obviously, if there's a classroom that was damaged and the children can't go in there, then we have to make adjustments. When you look, and I'm sorry that I use Belize as a school that is a private school. I got some pictures where they are teaching their children under the shed.
Yeah.
You know, and any little corner where you could teach them, because it's so important. Our kids have lost almost a year and a half because of
Now, gentlemen, did you hear the school that he used? Belize High School. Way back when the hurricane came. The same high school that Miss Usher was fired from. Now I go to you first, Mr. Wade.
I,
Do you think the Prime Minister is discriminative?
I am kind of lost for words, but because that guy says things and he jump all around and he's not to the point, right? You never could get to the point of what he really want to say because he does not come with the truth, right? And I you know that the, the whole scenario on that, I think that you know politics in this country, go very deep, guys, go very deep, right? So you know, I don't trust, I don't trust these guys in nothing they say and nothing they do. So that's where I'm at with, and I don't believe them, right? I don't believe them, right? Because, like I say, once they come to the understanding that you are not with them, you're against them. So they will do everything in their power to push through their agenda. And in my personal view and experience, this PUP government and past government, well, this one is more so vindictive, right? They are very vindictive, right? And they use their power to show it, So that's all I got to say, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Mr. Wade. Now, to answer that question, and I would like to hear you, Mr. Brackett, because we want to clarify this for the people at home and abroad. I have, I have said on many a platform that we are dealing with a discriminative government. Let's listen to this before I go to you, Mr.
Happens all the
Brackett.
time when people just pick out what they want to hone on to and to discuss and or to make an issue about. As I mentioned all the time, I have great respect for the teachers. Many of those union members don't realize what I used to march with the BNTU when I was a kid. My mother was a proud member of the Belize Teachers Union as a kid, so that I understand BNTU. But the truth is that as a government, even under the UDP, and Patrick Farr will be the first to tell you if he is prepared to say the truth, that we have been spending more and more in education, but we're getting less in return.
Is that true, Mr. Brackett?
I don't know why he had to brought in Mr. Patrick Faber in the answer to the question that was asked of him, and impugning the man as to say if he's willing to tell the truth. What does that have to do with him answering the question?
Answer the question
and move forward, being the head of the government today, rather than the government that was kicked out of office because they weren't performing correctly. These guys are now given the chance to come in and perform correctly. And he will find excuse for not performing correctly and lying at that to hopefully disparage somebody else that he's going to say if they are willing to tell the truth. The bottom line is, as he said, in his own word, okay, let me use his own words on no. He used to march with the teachers then from when he was a little kid. This man is 30 odd years in politics, which means that long after he became a kid, he started politics, right? So long after he was a kid, he went into politics and spent 30 odd years now in politics and became our present Prime Minister. And how he got into politics is because he was also, before he got elected as the present Prime Minister, he was marching with the teachers them and telling the teachers them how much he was going to do for them and how great they were, and marching against the past administration and condemning the past administration for not doing right by the teachers. And as soon as the teachers elected him to office, the first thing he did, take with 10% of their salary. Am I mistaken when I said that?
No, you're not.
Am I maligning him?
No.
Am I just disparaging him? Or am I
Came
telling
from
the
his
truth?
mouth. Came from his very
And I
mouth.
know with the truth, I can't libel the man. So I know he can't come and quote the right claim that I libel him either. In other words, I have the man in a box. He can't get out of it one way. He create the mischief, he reflect back on the mischief and try to dodge and bob and weave and blame somebody else for his shenanigans. The first clip that you played, Greg, when you were talking about the schools and the buildings and things that need to be repaired, that's why we elected them to be the government. They said they have so much money. They give us a so many millions, hundreds of millions, and every year they give another 25 million on top for the next 5 years. So they could find money to repair the schools then, to pay the teachers in their salary, to do what is right on behalf of the country of Belize. Then kids that we showed just now in the first clip that the teacher was talking about how enhanced the educational prospects of those kids are by virtue of the quality of education that the teachers are imbuing in the kids them, to the point of them performing as young potential engineering entrepreneurs for the future. At that level, what these kids could not be able to do when they grow up and go into further education. All the people in need of the support of the government with policies of state to enable them to do more. That's how the teacher was talking about. If they go get in good building, repair them building, they go get in good
Mr. Brackett.
whatever is it that they could provide them. That's the government responsibility. Yes, sir, go ahead.
Mr. Brackett,
Go ahead.
the reason I play that clip is because I believe the Prime Minister favored Belize High School, which is a private school. And then he wants to say they are not getting back enough from the government schools. But how can you get back enough if you are not putting into it in reality?
That's my point.
Okay.
Instead of giving Mr. Ashcroft all the money where you give Mr. Ashcroft, you could have given Mr. Ashcroft half of the amount of money invested in having our country.
That is why I was saying he is discriminating, because the People's United Party Woman Caucus stand behind Ms. Usher. They should not have fired her because she took the school abroad and they won gold in robotics. So you are favoring one set of people over another set. And it seems to be only within your fold, because let's not forget this.
There are like a raft of the legislation that seems to be an attack on Dr. Manza just to remove him from that position.
That is absolutely rubbish. Anybody that's saying that it has nothing to do with Dr. Manza, if you were to look at the discussions that we had before the election, we had already decided that we have to break up the office of the Director of Public of.
Mr. Chairman, Mr. Chairman, yes sir, yes sir. Good that you play that particular. Can I get a chance out of that one?
Go ahead, sir.
You tell the reporter that the reporter is then misstate his objectives and his what they were trying to do, and then he turned around and said that before they got elected, they had decided that they wanted to change Dr. Manzanares. That's not what they were telling him when they first came in, that they wanted to change him. As a matter of fact, They should have gone about doing it the right way then, if that's what they wanted to come in and do as the new government. You remember when they first started trying to go after the man, what was their objective? Because he was not performing, because he, they went to the man's professional career and credentials as to justify why they wanted to get the man out of there. All because they came in prepared to put one of them, one person in a man position, and they could not do that under the present laws. So they gone ahead and make other laws, unconstitutional laws, as we keep on saying, to try and go around the circle to create two positions out of the one position where Mr. Manza was doing. So that they give one person the other position when they realized they had to take back Dr. Manza and give Dr. Manza the other position that was subordinate to the position that they wanted to take away from him initially. And they claimed that it was two different positions. All they were doing was slighting the man and abusing the system. We put their own cronies, family members in a position or in a power. But that's how they roll. Every step of the way, they have to lie. And when they get caught lying, then they turn around and try to blame somebody else or something else. But they never go back and correct the bad deed when they do in the first place. They lie about it and they move on and pretend that, well, the lie that they told satisfies everybody's needs, constitutional requirements, and people's constitutional rights as well.
Thank
because
you,
nobody.
Mr. Brackett.
Sorry, go ahead, Mr.
Let's bring it in the proof. We will bring it in the proof because, to be honest, you know what happened, why they wanted to move him? Is because they were blaming him for the mortality of the people that died during COVID. And to prove that, let's go to a learned woman.
As far as the COVID response is concerned, there was a national oversight committee. So Dr. Manzanero wasn't making decisions, as far as I am aware. Every week there was decisions coming out of the oversight committee that was co-chaired by the then Prime Minister and the now Prime Minister. So that it is them, that committee, that was making decisions. So is it that no, this blame that is being placed on Dr. Manzanero, are we going to overreach now to go for the co-chairs for the oversight committee and blame them as well for the deaths? Because they were the ones who were making decisions. So it concerns me. I'm not sure if the decision makers are considering the long-reaching effect that their decisions are having, will have. Okay, so it is that they, maybe, I don't know, but based on everything I'm seeing.
Now, gentlemen, you heard it. And to prove that, I want to hear what the Prime Minister said concerning termination. Hold on a second.
Greg, before you go there, man, give me a shout out of that thing where the young lady was talking about, okay? Because what the young lady was saying was exactly what we were saying earlier. That is that they had their own agenda. They came in with their agenda. The Prime Minister said as much in his own words. And all that young lady was doing was validating what the facts were behind the scene. That is that they were tampering into the micromanagement level of the situation because they wanted to have that position for somebody that they came in there to give that position to. Okay? It was a part of an agenda. So the young lady was 100% correct.
No, Mr. Brackett, you're totally right, you know. Because let me put it in context. If they were saying that that one position needed two individuals, so they have to move the position away, right? They went all the way in the house to do that, right? But
yes, but they created, Mr. Chairman, they could have left Dr. Manza, if they were really honest about what they were trying to do and wanted to do it on behalf of the country and the well-being of the country, they would not have dispensed with the experience of Dr. Manza, who was the person that actually kept the system going to save a lot more lives than what we could have been end up to lose. They never had to go create 2 positions and then give him the subordinate position. They could have create the other position, keep him in his primary position, and let the subordinate person be in the subordinate position, and maybe later on, strategically, tactically, as politicians, then they could have switched in Dr. Manza and another person, right? But they went about it so dastardly that everybody saw what they were doing. Then they had to pretend like, oh, well, that is assembly created these laws. They carried the laws to the assembly. Before they got there, they went in cabinet and discussed it, how they may go about justifying getting rid of Dr. Manza. Besides that, the man was on leave. How you fire somebody that is on leave, that is your primary person where they're supposed to help you through a major catastrophe? Those guys and people didn't care. They're nefarious.
They did not care, Mr. Brackett, because that is their ideal. If they are saying that one man cannot handle 2 positions, and that is why they did that, then
give him the assistant.
Can they, and I am calling them out, explain to the people at home and abroad how the Minister of Education is handling 2 positions with one more important than what Dr. Manzanero was doing. And he's
Mr.
not
Chairman,
the only one. Go
Mr.
ahead,
Chairman,
sir.
you asked a question, but you never asked it to me or to Mr. Weir or to anybody on the panel, or you never stipulated that you was going to provide an answer, right? But the question was put out there to show how ludicrous the situation is that they're trying to entertain. But there is an answer to that question. And the answer to that question is they themselves had their agenda, and they were going to go ahead and do whatever they had to do regardless. They don't respect the Constitution. They don't respect any of the new laws that they were creating, because the laws that they were creating were anti-constitutional. They were violating our existing constitution that they have no regards and respect for. I don't think they have any respect for themselves in the first place, much less anything else and anybody else. At least that's how these people roll. But the bottom line is that they did not have to do what they did. They could have gone around and do the same thing or achieve the same objective by doing it differently from a more strategic concept, like I said before. They could have went ahead and create the second position and just claim that Dr. Manza couldn't handle both positions, therefore they were creating a subordinate position to give him some assistance. Because then that would enable them to be able to come up with the money out of the consolidated fund to pay for this next person's position. But then later on, when Dr. Manza would have come back off of his leave, they could have come up with some rig-me-jig excuse to say that the man is not performing adequately.
Mr. Brackett,
And then use that as a means to say, well, promote the next person that was recently.
regardless of how you are trying to help them or you want to put it, if Mr. Manzanero was not doing his job, the Public Service Union
is the way
was
to
the
go.
one who was supposed to chastise him and demote him. With that said, now look at the
Mr.
double
Chairman,
standard.
Mr. Chairman, wait.
Yes.
The minister is in charge of the public service, or learned Mr. Usher. Okay? He did not have what it takes for him to have been able to deal with that ministry within the context of the constitutional requirements. And he failed, and as a result, he should have been removed. But he understood his assignment or the agenda of his prime minister, who was the person who was heading that particular group that the young lady spoke about earlier, remember? It was the prime minister himself was leading that group and figuring out and conniving and how they was going to bring this plot into fruition. It wasn't just somebody in the department there that didn't know what they were doing and something just happened out of the blue.
Mr. Wade, what I always say, they're telling themselves, I will
Yes.
play this tape, and immediately following this tape, I want you to elaborate on it, Mr. Wade, because this will put them to shame. Hear it from your Prime Minister himself.
I don't think it's a matter of because it has anything to do with the chairman of the party, but everybody must recognize that Ms. Jamie Lee Usher has been an exceptional principal. I got to know her closely when my son was at the Belize High School, and she was full of energy, always pushing for the children, for the kids, and finding avenues, the exciting things for them. And I think that she, through her efforts, have been able to put Belize on the map. So I guess that the UWG, the United Women's Group, found it necessary to say something about it. That was not necessarily a party's decision. It was the women's group that decided that they wanted to say something. So it's not like they cleared it with me or the chairman. They felt that they wanted to say something about that.
Now, Mr. Wade, before you answer that, did the women's group stand behind Ms. Sharon Palazzo, who is one of their own, that the Prime Minister disrespected? Did the women's group stand behind the liar that set a claim against Mr. Perez? Did the women's group stand up for all those females that were terminated under this government? Not at all. And did not the Prime Minister said by himself that the government does not get into private entities' business? Isn't BHS a private entity? Go ahead,
Pants on
Mr. Wade.
fire. Pants on fire.
You know,
Pants on
like,
fire.
guys, like, I get to a point, I personally, Rudy Wade, get to a point that, you'll hear me say this whenever anything comes out of that guy's mouth publicly, and others, right? You'll hear me say that it's just venom, and they lie on themselves, and they keep lying and lying, and I always say is that crap is played out, so it actually irritates me whenever that guy come publicly and say, sitting on a little corner and said he's still, it's a public, right? If you'd have stayed in a little corner and say, I could, like, wow, it's better that I don't listen to that guy or see him say anything. And sadly, let's say, this guy is a compulsory liar, right? Like, everything he says has to be a lie, right? Like, doesn't he has the, I would say the balls or the guts to speak truth? That's my thing, man. And as with that thing with, I know how the whole scenario played out with Dr. Manza, right? It's a political thing. And from Dean Barrow sat down, it was a political thing, and they knew that, there were money to be gained and from outside sources, and they know that Dr. Manza was going to dance to the drum that the UDP play, right? And then the now Prime Minister now, he got rid of him because he knew that Dr. Manza was only dancing to the tune of the UDP, and he's not going to dance with the tune that the PUP will play, because it was going to be crucial and money, and it has to do with figures, throw certain figures out there that people are dying, and we need this and we need that, and there were lots of money that was given around the world for COVID, right? So John Briceño came in with his people, that will facilitate.
Blue
Right? That's
agenda.
it. Right? That's it. The UDP does it. The UDP did a lot of, hell of a lot of firing of innocent people because they are not dancing to their tune. Same thing with the People's United Party. And you're so right, Greg, that you don't hear nothing from the women's group in other situations, like you mentioned. You don't hear it, right? But like I say, right, you watch the players and you watch their affiliation, right, to either a UDP party or a PUP party. This country is so, it's a sick country when it comes to doing the right thing by people, right? When it comes to be truthful to people, when it comes to accountability, right? When it comes to let everyone enjoy the wealth or enjoy whatever is there for the country. No, this country is played and it's run by a two-party system. When the UDP is in power, if you tag along with their agenda, you tend to reap a little, right? Same thing with the People's United Party, and they don't care who they hurt. They don't care who they hurt. Now, after they do all the damage now, when time for an election, you see them come like some puppy, right? Like some puppy, begging again, right? Begging, literally begging, right? For you to give them another chance, right? After they have done so much wrong to so many people, right? And yet they want to listen to the Prime Minister trying to justify. Like I say, for me, everything that comes out of that guy's mouth is a lie, right? He has no love, and he's very racist, He's very racist. That prove me wrong. And I could show him where he is racist, right? Why I say that, right? But like I say, it's so sad to see, how they go about running the affairs of the country, right? With favoritism and using their power to put certain people in position that will facilitate their corruption, right? And so that they could cover up. They put people in place that to push through their agenda, right? It's a whole multitude of things, but politics is plays a very evil role in this country, and they need to stop it, right? They need to stop it. Back to you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Mr. Wade. Now, gentlemen, very important things have been happening in the country. We know that on the 6th of March, we have the municipal election. We know that just recently, the government of Belize have had an amnesty program. Now we are finding out just before election time that they are, as my cousins say, facilitating these new immigrants. Now the question is, does this facilitating have to do with the coming election? And the reason why I'm asking this question is because I want you to listen to this.
In terms of the political ramifications, as noted, what will be provided to successful applicants would be permanent residence. Permanent residence with a path to citizenship. This part involves a 5-year waiting period and other legal requirements. So that would address individuals saying the government of Belize is giving status to migrants, illegal migrants, in terms of trying to secure a vote. 5 years from now, the next election will have already happened. Additionally, individuals with permanent resident status can vote in village council elections. The next village council elections is slated for next year. However, this exercise will not be completed, as noted, until 2023, early 2023. So it will have no ramification on the next village council elections.
Now, gentlemen, people at home and abroad, who wants to believe that? Why are they facilitating at this time, knowing a municipal election is coming out? Because I will say, both the blue and the red does the same thing, and I can prove it. Go ahead, Mr. Brackett.
This particular scenario, though, is much more massive and much more in your face, violating the Constitution, than anything else that they had done before in terms of this particular type of effort. In this instance, what the gentleman was talking about on that particular tape that you played, which was before 2023, because he was stipulating that some election was going to be held before 2023. So I don't know what election he was talking about then, because we are now in 24 and the election is just going to be held, right? So he could not have been talking about the election that preceded this one, which was 3 years before now. So there's a conflation there, by the way. But the conflation, the intent of the conflation is to bamboozle, obfuscate, hide the real agenda or intent or purpose for why they're expediting these processes. Because I think somewhere, maybe in the next few minutes, you might be playing another tape, my cousin, that will validate and give explanation to what is it that I'm trying to stipulate right now, not having had the tape played. But I know what it contains, and I was preemptively speaking to it in the context of what the gentleman stipulated, because what he stipulated there about them not trying to get these people ready for voting, even though the temporary cards them would allow them to vote in village council and town board elections, it means then that for all intents and purposes, what happened a few days ago, the Prime Minister was not only just giving them clarifying their status, he was getting them jobs. You had the Labor Department there. You had the Immigration Department there. You had the Vital Statistics offices, them there. You had the Social Security, so that they could end up to get the Social Security right there at the same time. He had all the different government departments that these people need to access, that most other Belizean, born Belizeans, have no opportunity to be able to access, and just spending years and years going around in circles. But he was facilitating these people to have everything done for them in that one day. You know, it's crazy. How, in good conscience, can these so-called leaders of ours have such preferential treatments to people who are not citizens, and then denying the very citizens those opportunities or preferential treatment as well? Shouldn't it be that you give the citizens the preferential treatment and you provide whatever assistance you can that is left over to help other people? But the agenda is one and the same. Suppress the local Belizean because they want a new identity and bring to power the new identity. We'll discuss it a little further because I want to speak to the Constitution on that, Mr. Chairman. When you get a chance, if you allow me to read something that I prepared, but I don't want to interrupt the flow of the program right now from you, no, because I want you to run the show the way you had it set up.
Thank you, Mr. Brackett. Well said. Mr. Wade, as I said before, both government was doing the same thing and is still doing it. In the past general election that was held, I want you to listen to what this person who ran in Lake I said. He was beaten by Cordell Hyde. As soon as this tape is finished, Mr. Wade, you can proceed to clarify your feelings.
And so if I had the power, I would call for an amnesty for these people. Give them their documents. Your responsibility and the responsibility of the media houses is to blow this up for people to start to get their jobs done. We talk about not enough jobs out there. People don't have jobs. So employ 50 people at the immigration department to start this out.
No, how ludicrous. They have no problem bringing in these foreigners and giving them what they need so they can do what? Participate. And what we find them doing, taking over the country and marginalizing
local people
as Belizean. Go ahead, Mr. Wade.
You know, when you listen to these fly-by-night politician, right, and representative, and you know who is that lady? But anyway, I'm not gonna linger. But anyway, like I say, the PUP beat her to the punch, right? Beat her to the punch, but you know they are good at it because you have Penner. Then he was caught there 1, 2, 3 o'clock the morning immigration, right? Before the election, you hear the boxes of papers rolling and getting people ready, right? When the amnesty, same thing, you know, same thing, right? Same thing. But like I say, right? Like you pointed out too, Leonard, this one is of a bigger operation, right? It started with the John Briceño, the Prime Minister of this country, set up in the house, and when the question was put, oh no, don't even insinuate that because these people will not be ready to vote in any election. That came out of that guy mouth again.
But Mr. Wade, you hear what the CEO of the department said, right? The gentleman that spoke just now, he's the CEO. So you hear what he was saying?
It's all played down, and they, like I said, they put people in place, and he understand his assignment. He read out the rules and everything, right? I know how, you know, we know how it works, right? To cover off, to let people say, well, like, no hanky. But he himself does not even know what's going on, right? He might have an idea, right? But he, you know, he is put there to push the papers, right? So the thing is that
illegally too, illegally.
So sad that Greg, you played that tape there, and this is not news to some Belizean. This is not right. This is a thing that we know that will happen. Those people that was given Belizean patrimony, they will be voting in this March 6th election, and they will be voting in the general election.
We have it from the Prime Minister's mouth.
Which one of us, Belizean? And I don't even know if the UDP going to check right? When go physically check John Jones or Jose Cruz or whatever, you da me alien then. But how you the vote now? Right? And they run through the checks. I'm just saying, right? Which one? No, because they all do the same crap, right? So they are banking too. The UDP, they're right there, the bank, like, yeah, making naturalize them because you know what? The next time around, we will got them, right? And more, we ain't get them 1 year and more because we got our next plan, right? So, like I said before, and I say it again, that it comes to a point in this country, and I thought what was told to me by a running mate. Say, Brother Rudy, we will meet in Cayo South, do not need the regular Belizean. When you say, the regular Belizean for win this election here, win you on the convention, because certain villages will make I win, right? And I know the regular Belizean in them villages, and the man put me to test. And
Mr. Wade, Wade, you want to call the man name? I like call names, I like the people who...
Agapino Kawich. Go ahead.
Mr. Kawich.
Mr. Agapino Kawich.
People need to hear their name so that they could know that we're not just the throw things out there in the air.
I contest 2 conventions with that man for the People's United Party, and 2 of they beat me with those people, right? So I say this to say that, in reality, and uno Belizean band, uno could sleep, uno could sleep. And this I tell you what happened to me, right? So uno could sleep. This is a reality. Reality. Pretty soon.
Wake up one morning, Mr. Wade, with a new identity, and they don't recognize the identity.
And I could tell Mr. Brisenio and all of them want a new identity. That's the agenda. Dean Barrow, all of them, that's the agenda. They don't need the lead black man and the lead Creole man and the lead, right, PG man and thing, the lead Creole and thing for make. No, they ain't got the Central American. They don't want no Haitian neither, because they come to leave it. They don't want no other Caribbean. They only the Central American refugees they want, because with them one, they want them put the screw in there because they whole name. Are they going to citizenship now? What don't have to vote for PUP, Are they going to citizenship now? What don't have to? Your grandma, your sister, your uncle have to vote UDP. Okay? That's how they have it. Right? So, for those who don't know, for those who have ears, let them hear, and for those who have eyes, let them see. Is this the way they want us to continue in this country? Well, so sad, because the PUP don't care as long as they get the vote. As long as they get the vote, they don't care about you ban Belizean. And like I say, the man Brisenio tell a lie in the house to the nation and the world that these people aren't going to be ready. These are the same people that will go and vote March 6th coming in the next couple of weeks and for the next general election, right?
That's what.
I dare the UDP. I dare the UDP or any attorney pick up that cause and hold them to test, because I don't have the money to do it, to take them to court.
Mr. Wade, I thank you for that. But here in Belizean affair, we always put the proof in the pudding. That is why this Brazilian government does not respect the Mayas, but they cannot do that to the Caneros because they know what will happen. Why you think the whole of this will be done in a ring trap? But to put the proof in the pudding to what you are saying, let's go out west.
We have collaborated with the United Nations High Commission on Refugees. So along with them, along with IOM, International Organization on Migration, and collaborating with other entities. We have been assisting, and basically in the grassroots, we have gone to the last two villages that I went to. Was eye-opening to me. It was in the Toledo district. We went to a village called Blue Creek, and we went to another village called Santa Cruz. And it was eye-opening for me because they're like right on the border with Guatemala. So I was amazed to see, that we have persons, and the stories that we heard, people who have been here 25, 35 years, have X number of children, all of whom have been educated in Belize, have married Belizeans, and basically they are Belizeans for all intents and purposes, just that they don't have the piece of paper that says. And so that is what we have been doing. It's really rudimentary, basic, assisting in filling out the forms, ensuring that their pictures are taken, ensuring that the medical, the doctors see them, so that forms a part of their application, etc.
Mr. Chairman, I would like to beg your forbearance and let me. I want to attack this presentation that this gentleman just did just now. Could you allow me, sir, please?
Go ahead, sir.
In his own words, they are working with the International Organization of Migrants. Okay? They are being funded. We Belize officials are getting funds from foreign sources to sell with patrimony. There was a time back in the 50s and 60s when people were being accused of trying to sell us out lock, stock, and barrel. These guys are not selling us out no lock, stock, and barrel. They're selling out the whole damn country. And they're doing it barefacedly too, because they're claiming that they're doing it under the aegis or the guidance and the support of the United Nations to suborn our Belizean constitution and to oppress our local Belizean people to the exclusion of having the migrants being facilitated with more rights and experience and opportunities and the benefits of we patrimony to them than to us. Mr. Chairman, I think it's about the right time to really let me chip in with this thing I'm asking about just now, because
Mr. Brackett, before
yes, sir,
you
go ahead.
do that, because I want to give you the floor, I want to play this tape to see, so the people can see what facilitating is. Even though we heard this Prime Minister in the House said that people who want citizens have to stay in this country and do all that, you will hear how people living in Honduras have sent to get birth paper and citizenship in this country. People at home and abroad, listen to it for yourself, because even when this government is not facilitating for good hospitals and the needs of the Belizean people, they are putting more power into making sure that the outcome of this program is 100% plus. Here we go.
At the event we are having here in Orange Walk in the People's Stadium today.
Hi, good morning. I'm Diana Locke from IOM, and today IOM, in partnership with the government and Social Security and the foreign embassies, will be here offering identity, information, and integration. We're doing an integration hub. So basically what that means, we're bringing all the services from government that leads to an identity document. We're also bringing Social Security on board with us. The Labor Department will be providing information on what job opportunities are available in this area. We also have the Embassy of Honduras here with us today. They have foreign nationals who had applied for birth certificates or for national IDs, and they will be distributing those to their nationals today. We also have photograph services in the event anybody needs a service and requires a photograph. We also have Social Security. They'll be providing appointments and assisting people in making their preparation for their documents, for their Social Security documents. The Nationality and Passport Department is here, and they have brought all of their services today. They have the passport. You can apply for a passport. I think they were doing appointments. So you can apply for a passport today. You can apply for a border crossing card. You can submit an application for permanent residence. You can submit an application for nationality, and in the three categories, both marriage, registration, and descent. And they're also, I think, providing nationality residence and passport services. So, and today we're actually having, for a very short, brief moment in this hub, the distribution of amnesty registration cards. We're supporting the department in returning those cards to the first set of applicants that have been approved, have paid, and the cards have been printed. So we'll be having a little ceremony from 10 to 11 in the back, just handing out those cards to people. Those persons, after getting their cards, will be able to go directly to Social Security and make appointments to actually and submit applications to obtain their Social Security card, which basically puts them in a very good position to begin working and integrating.
Yeah, so the main point for this is that make people do the things in just one spot.
That is correct. The idea that we have, this is the first of the 8 that we're attempting to do. And at the next hub, we will be inviting the Vital Stats. They weren't able to come with us today, but they will be with us at the other hubs. And so basically, you can apply for your birth certificate. You could go to Social Security in the same day and apply for your Social Security card. Or you could come in with your...
Now, gentlemen and people at home and abroad, facilitating. Look how much the Belizean government and the Prime Minister Briseno is putting into this amnesty program. Now, anyone who does not want to believe what the outcome of this will be, something is wrong with them. Now I go back to you, Mr. Brackett, because I will prove something before we get off the air. Go ahead, sir.
Yes, sir. Thank you very much, sir. What Ms. Locke stated there just now, she is only carrying out orders from above. Our Ministry of Foreign Affairs is working in cahoots with other foreign entities to subvert our constitution and all powers of government, to violate and bastardize what our constitution requires of our governments. And I'll read some of it, because I'm tired of just blabbing off and saying these things, and sometimes when I say it with such fiercefulness and such conviction that people would probably have the impression that I'm just saying stuff because I'm hot under the collar and I'm just trying to malign somebody, okay? Which sometimes I do want to do, and it's necessary sometimes. But let me read. The people of Belize require policies of state for which we elect members of parliament, from amongst whom our government executive are entrusted with our governance power to serve the migrants. Not us. No, I'm just kidding. I'm messing around. To serve us. But they are turning all that on its head. Belizeans have a hard time getting any kind of documentation through the systems. But these people are being provided, and particularly I'm going to make mention right now too, that this meeting that Ms. Locke was talking at was at the Prime Minister's division. So the first division he is feathering is his own. A lot of these people are pissed off with him because of how he handled the Cañeros strike and the sugar issue. You all remember that just a few weeks ago? So now he's coming with this backhanded process to coordinate all these government departments to facilitate and make people happy who should have been mad at him for his mismanagement. Again, he's subordinating the powers of our governance in wide open conspiracy against our country and patrimony. You saw the label that the young lady had on her uniform, IOM, International Organization of Migrants. The migrants are now having priority, and to hell with the rest of the country. Why? Because the International Organization of Migrants is a UN-sponsored entity. And they're sponsoring not only just with legal support and personnel support to facilitate all these people being made whole, they're providing funding for the government to help pay some of its employees and to help pay for some of the services for these people. In other words, if you're not a black person that believes on the south side of Belize City, and you don't got one job, and you don't got no means to be able to go and pay no more money to the people that work at the offices, them, tough luck. Nothing for you. But these people get everything ready-made and well coordinated, and the Prime Minister was supposed to be there to speak to them and to welcome them. After that meeting where Ms. Locke was talking about a few days ago, okay? And they're going to go and do that throughout the whole rest of the country. As Ms. Locke said, probably about 8 different other locations, which means that probably one in each of the district, or maybe another one that will open, okay? Or maybe one that Belize, one that will open, and one each for the other district, which will amount to 6 and 2, 8. So it's coming from their own mouth. What they do, Greg? Tell on themselves. Ms. Locke is only speaking truth. She's not speaking truth to power. She's speaking truth to the public. But some of we Belizeans have a head up, I don't know where, that we seem not to be able to recognize and realize what the hell is happening to us. Or maybe we are so indifferent that we could care less what happens. But I'll tell you, Uncle Sam no accept all Belizeans. Even though if you take the whole population of Belize and put them in a Uncle Sam, it's just like a little drop in the bucket. But if you take the amount of migrants that's flowing from down south all the way through Belize, and the amount of them that end up coming from Guatemala into Belize, it's a massive amount of population, people, a demography that's going to cause major impact on a small country of 400,000 people. We can't double and triple with population every 10 years. As it is right now, the Creoles are a minority in the country. They're not majority, or they don't control or run the government or control the system or nothing anymore. The Mayans are trying to balkanize their part of the country. And they were in conspiracy trying to get the northern Mayans and mestizos them to join up with them, to gang up on Belize City, to push the rest of Belize City population in the sea. I was taught that for 7 long years at Guatemala, and I lived long enough to see them now attempting to do it. Hastily, emboldened, and why? Because we have no defense. We're acting like paupers. The money where the government get from the outside sources then to help this process, it's not going to the salary of the employees or to any Belizean on the south in the poverty alleviated programs. Most of the foreign exchange is being used for the merchants and the politicians then to get credits, foreign exchange credits, in a one personal account abroad. It's a much bigger game going on than what the average Belizean person could even fathom, could even think about, could even imagine. They see some bits and pieces, but I don't know, they can't connect. But they don't want to spend the time necessary to be able to rationalize these things and recognize what the hell is going on. And then go back and vote the same people back in our office. Mr. Chairman, Make I read the thing now, sir, please, if you allow me. Make I read the thing. At the talk and at the time they go and we run out of time and I want to finish reading the thing. So make I just read it. First thing I want to do, I'll read on part of the Constitution, okay? Quick, because I could get that over easier than a short thing. So I'll just read it. So I don't think that where they come from my mouth, that I did think about and I need to try to say something when I go so. I always like repeat that because a lot of people come off with that kind of attitude. You talk, and nothing that they get done, and then must know where to talk about because where to talk about not make sense to we, the local Belizeans. Constitution of Belize, Part 3, Section 20, just a minute, 28. No, Section 29, I'm sorry. Section 29 and subsection 3. I want to skip subsection 1 and 2. I just want to read 3. It says, no person shall be entitled under the provisions of this part to be a citizen of Belize or be granted citizenship of Belize if such person shows any allegiance to or is a citizen of a country which does not recognize the independence, sovereignty, or territorial integrity of Belize. For example, Guatemala, who has a massive amount of people coming into our country now because the cart road has been built and turned into mega highways, 4-lane highways. Okay? So now they're not a struggle for ride a new cart and mule and cart and things to try to get into the country. Then they come by bus loads, truck loads, car loads, pickup truck loads. And many of them they walk right across the border. In fact, some of them they building houses right across the border and they live in the country proper. And when we open up the mouth and talk about these things or try to educate the public about these things, they say with prejudice. If your country they get balkanized, and if your country they have people inside of your country where they act like Trojan horse and they subsume. That one word subsume means swallowing up and taking over. We country, what we thought was our patrimony. If they're taking it over, they're not going to live with you and try to exist with you. They're going to take it over and suppress and oppress you. And that is being tolerated and aided and abetted and encouraged by the leadership people them at the highest level, from Prime Minister all the way down. I don't read the thing from the Constitution. I think I finish this the other part. I mean, I just want to get rid of that because what I read there just now is from the Constitution. But these people that we have in our government, they have no respect for the Constitution, no regards for it, and no intent to comply with it or what is required by it. As we all know right now, they try to get rid of it anyhow. Okay? We'll deal with the constitutional matters on constitutional night, maybe Fridays and so on. Okay, let me just read this thing here because, and I know I'm telling you up front right now. Not you, Mr. Wade, not you, Greg. I'm telling the public. I don't care who vexed when they hear me read what I'm about to read. Because what I'm about to read is based on my own personal experience, cognizance, knowledge base, and my own ideas, opinion, and conclusion, my own analysis. Whether I'm right or wrong, I'm entitled to it. So I don't want nobody wasting time and effort to try to say, well, I condone too hard, or express myself too.
Can you proceed, sir? Time is going.
Yes, sir. Too voraciously or whatever. Okay. Now I'm stipulating that up front because I will not hear nobody coming and craziness to try to talk craziness. I don't have the time for them to spend enough time for me to tell them exactly how I arrive at the conclusions. But here it goes. I wrote an article. I never get to finish it, but I need to put it out there. So I put out what I have so far. Belize government officials acting as rogue scofflaws, as a cabal of malignant, cancerous mafia gang. That is the title. That's under the whole thing. I'll repeat the title again. Belize government officials acting as rogue scofflaws, as a cabal of malignant, cancerous mafia gangs. The following commentary was made by Leonard Brackett based on his observations and experience and analysis and conclusions in respect of the matter referenced herein. I went on to say, Belize government officials acting rogue as scofflaws, as a cabal of malignant, cancerous mafia gang, in the dereliction of their sworn oath and duty and promise to govern our patrimony and country of Belize within the constraints and boundary of Belize's constitution for our security and safety and stability and health and well-being and betterment, improvement, and development. The preamble of Belize in the Constitution stipulates a partial section of which I'm about to read. It says, the people of Belize require policies of state for which we elect members of parliament from amongst whom our government executives are entrusted with our government power or governance power to serve us. Belize Constitution effective provisions enumerated citations, partial citations as follows. For example, 1, Section 2, Part 2 of the Constitution, Cap 4, Part 2, Section 2, Subsection 1. This Constitution, meaning the Belize Constitution, is the supreme law of Belize, and if any other law, when it refers to any other law, it means other law that the legislator make, because they are empowered to make laws. But some of them think that they are empowered to make laws outside of the bounds of the Constitution, when in fact, that's unconstitutional. And it says, the supreme law is the supreme law of Belize, and if any other law is inconsistent with this Constitution, that other law shall, to the extent of the inconsistency, be void. Cap 4, Part 1, Section 2, Subsection 1. That's my reading for tonight, Mr. Chairman. I did not complete the essay. I didn't have enough time to be able to do so.
I thank you for your reading.
I use a lot of big words, and I use a lot of emphasis. I hope people will take the patience, exercise the patience necessary to grasp what I'm trying to get across. That's critical.
Thank you, Mr. Brackett. Mr. Wade, before I go to you.
You're welcome, sir.
It is very important to bring these matters up that I'm about to speak on. We heard the Prime Minister and his conversation spoke about the rate unemployment has dropped. We heard the Prime Minister speak about the economy rebounding and what the IDF was saying. We watched the laws that they are passing into law. Presently, one that has just hit me, Section 48 and 49 of the Family and Children Act 173, where they want grandparents by law now to take care of their grandkids if their kids cannot do it. Only to not look at Section 51, where it says that all children born out of wedlock has a moral obligation to take care of their father, mother, grandparents if they get old. Now imagine. But that is not why I'm saying that, because Mr. Wade, you have always spoke about the poverty, the cost of living, only in honesty, being telling the truth. And like I said, the government always tell on themselves, because Mr. Wade, after I play this clip, sir, you have the floor. Now imagine with all these people coming in. This clip does not have no strong people at home and abroad, but I want you to read what is said, because this happened just today. Here we go. What it says, Mr. Wade, the UNDP and the government is signing an agreement to curb poverty in Belize. Now imagine, to curb poverty in Belize. They just signed that as we speak today. But yet this state government is bringing in so much people from different countries and not telling the people the truth about the gross negligence and poverty that we have in this country. Take the floor, Mr. Wade.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. You know, that clip you played there just now, I have seen lots of those. Lots. From 20 years ago, 30 years ago. Money donated to this country to curb poverty. You decide, my people. Where is the money and where is the poverty rate today? 2024. Okay, I'll elaborate much on that. He who feels it knows it, right? So, just another show, right? Just another show. And with no accountability. You see, a lot of these funds, a lot of these grants given to this country, they don't have to account for it, you know. Same way how they give the politician 25, 30,000, 40,000 for Christmas chairs, and any other election they come up and get so much thousands. They don't have to care, no receipt. There goes the taxpayers' dollars. They don't could care less. But what really, give me a little couple minutes because we are time restrained. But give me a couple minutes to elaborate on that fear that Brisenio has up north, right? Because he took that there, not to his constituency, the same way that he took other fear in his location, right? No, my thing is that, you know, I just hope that they attend to the south side, just the way how they take the government departments to facilitate him, right? To facilitate him. The same way, like I say, on other things that he takes them. And you see, talking about the healthcare system, you know, the toll that gonna be taken on the already a healthcare system that is on life support in this country with all these people, right? So, like I say, it's done because these guys are desperate, right? And like I say, they account to no one. They could do whatever they want to do. The same way he says that he will roll out NHI in his area, he and Bernard area. That's the Minister of Health area and the area representative area who is the Prime Minister of this country. The same way now that the package deal will be for this amnesty people now to get to get their papers and to get their documents and get it to go vote for him. Right? Him and Bernard. Right? We see where everything's centralized. So I just hope that my people no eyes open, because like I said, the UDP do the same crap too, Same thing. Don't think that we are one-sided or what. They are both the same way of operating, right? So I beg of John Briceño, the Prime Minister of this country, to take all those services across the nation so that everybody could benefit of our taxpayers, employees who we pay on a daily basis to provide them with the service. The same service you took away, because you took away services, Mr. Man. When you care all them people, you took away people to perform the duties in their department. You took them away in your department to facilitate you. Think about it. Is that right for you to do that? Hell no, it's not right for you to do it. But why? You are the Prime Minister of this country. You could do any damn thing you want to do and get away with it. You could come and arrest me and have me to fight to get out of jail, because you have the power to do it. So, it's a repetitious cycle. It's so sad to see how these people do us and get away with it. We here, I'm glad that we were able to put it out there and show it, because no other do it, because for whatever reason, no other media house do it, but we do it and show it, because it's not right. It's not right what these people are doing to us, and they get away with it. And I know we are out of time too, Mr. Chairman. So very good topic, and I just hope that it touched a little core, and I just hope that it's a little eye opener for those who never open their eyes. Okay, back to you, Mr. Chairman.
Can I do my closing, Mr. Chairman? Since we're running out of
Yes,
time, I'll just
before you do, let me say this.
Okay.
We here in Belizean Affair has a way to hold the government accountable to the coming municipal election. We will go to the last election, which is publicized record, and we will check how much vote was cast in each section of Belize, including the district. So if in Mesop had 500 and we see 400 of it on, we will know what is taking place. It means that they have unregistered voters voting. Go ahead, Mr. Brackett.
Thank you very much, sir. For my closing for tonight, I'd like to say that our government of the day has embarked on a travesty, a conspiracy, and an outright decimation of the Belizeans who thought that this government would have been looking after our patrimony on our behalf. As of right now, based on the evidence presented so far, it's obvious that that is not the ultimate objective or intent. They have not put UNCOC in place, which is what we asked them to put in place so that we can have a basis to keep them checked, and any future government to be checked from pilfering or stealing or misappropriating the little asset that we have to run and govern our country. But yet they can find time to haul and pull the Constitution and are now promising that they're going to change the whole Labor Act. They're going to get assistance from foreign people to help them get it done. That is what is being stipulated. I wonder how much Belizean realize that if they think that they had it hard right now, or recently or before, how much more hard it's going to be by the time these jackals, hyenas, and vultures get through playing around with the labor law. Because all that's going to do is to find ways to squeeze the employees and employers them to take advantage of the employees so that the employees will end up in a worse situation than they currently are. That exercise is not being taken to enhance the possibilities of the employees' well-being, as our Constitution requires government to create policies of state to assist us to grow the country and for us to have a better lifestyle and livelihood. No. They make all these draconian laws that accrue to turning the population, especially the poorer people in the population that can't come up with money to fight back or hire a lawyer. They put these crazy, unconstitutional other laws on the book and victimize a whole lot of people that can't take the matter to court to get judicial review and have these laws struck down. And they're not doing this by accident or oversight or miscalculation. It's a deliberate process. But anyhow, we are beyond our time. The chairman needs to close. He needs his time to be able to close. And so I'll just cut that part of my closing remarks.
I thank you, Mr. Brackett. Mr. Wade, would you kindly do the closing with your remarks?
Thank you. Thank you. It's always a pleasure to, be in your company, guys. And I hope that this program be beneficiary, take away some kind of information and hope for the better, and put you in a different mindset. And on that note, I want to call on my residents of the Twin Tongue to come and support myself as the mayor and two other councillors for your independent candidates, right, in the March 6th municipal election. We will be the only change. So if you want that change, support myself for mayor, Mr. John Escobar, for councillor, come March 6th. Appreciate it. You will not only be, doing the country a favor, but you will be proud of yourself to be the first one to be voting for an independent candidate, right? Because in this country, we are lacking to either a red or a blue. And they are the ones that have us here the way we are 2024. So come March 6th and put your vote on your independent. And in fact, across this country, if you cover independent slate across this country, support the independent slate. You'll be surprised. You'll be surprised. And on that note, Mr. Chairman, I want to thank you again, for Gregory and Leonard,
welcome,
being your company. And may
I need
God
to talk
bless.
with you afterwards too, Mr. Wade.
May God bless Belize. And to our viewers and listeners, please continue to tune into our program and support us, because we bring truth and enlightenment to the country and nation, both and people both at home and abroad. I want to say good night.
Thank you, Mr. Wade. With that said, good night.
We want everybody. We want everybody.